As a chairman and as a CEO, I think necessarily I want to get a couple of lines from you, just a reaction to our big story this morning, the U.S.-China trade deal. What does it mean for you?
Yeah, I think it's an important signal that two of the most important economies in the world are sitting together and negotiating. I think that's a very important sign for all business leaders around the world, looking for certainty, looking for leaders coming together and resolving issues. So from our industry perspective, Martin, we are a very capital-intensive industry. We require $1 billion+ for every project we do. So supply chain, the product costs are a very important element. But if you step back, really, overall, we are really building the utility infrastructure of AI. This is how internet was built 30 years ago. And the cost and the capital is less important. It's more about certainty of supply chain, making sure the products come on time, we can build the infrastructure on time, so the cloud and the AI services can be delivered to consumers and businesses around the world. So overall, I think it's really the certainty, getting the supply chains, making sure they flow smoothly, products arrive on time. I think that's really core to our industry, making sure of that. It's less about cost, it's less about tariffs, it's about making sure the supply chains work.
You know, Rangu, I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, one of the most obvious sort of physical manifestations of this trade deal beyond the numbers, 145 down to 30, 125 down to 10, is the simple fact that it means that at least for the next 90 days, right, physical trade, ships, containers, etc., they are now able to get going again, including what's needed to build your data centers. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And these supply chains and these complex products, Martin, they have complex supply chains. Components are manufactured in different parts of the world. You know, they come together in a certain country, they get assembled, and they get shipped around to different parts of the world. So unclogging the supply chain is very critical to making sure the products arrive on time in the places that we need. I think that's absolutely core to our business, to our industry, where we're spending billions of dollars every week in building these kind of capital infrastructure. And I think we're pleased to see the progress being made on supply chains and tariffs.
All right. Now, I want to get to what could potentially be a sensitive or touchy question, but you're a pro. I'll leave you to navigate it as you see fit, right? You know, what the U.S. and China still have not resolved, and I don't think they ever can resolve, is this fight over technology at the highest level, semiconductors, right, including chips that go into things like your data centers, right? You make the point, and you have in the past as well. It's like, look, guys, the chips, that's not our business really, right? We build data centers, we run them and operate them. We build the shell and the infrastructure for hyperscalers to move in with their servers and racks and the chips.
Right.
Correct?
That's right. That's absolutely right, Martin.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
So in a sense, you're kind of insulated from what's going on at that level.
We are. I think we are insulated from the broader issues being dealt on the AI chip export controls and so on. But really, if you step back from a perspective of overall AI demand, I think we see an incredible surge in AI demand in spite of what are the challenges being dealt with on the chip supply chain, the chip controls. I think that will continue. But overall, if you look at it from the build-out perspective, large tech companies are investing billions of dollars to source those chips, build the AI infrastructure. Even here in Asia, the demand signals haven't gone down. We see a very robust demand for AI as well as cloud. I think so from that perspective, it's core to every nation. If you look at it around the world, including here in Asia, every prime minister, every president, every prime minister, every policymaker has made AI front and center in the policymaking decision. They want sovereign AI clouds. They want the cloud infrastructure built in their countries. No matter where the chips come from, no matter what chips they are able to source, they want to build AI in every country. They want their country to become leader and not lose out on AI. So we are going to see a massive build-out of AI infrastructure here in Asia, as we're going to see elsewhere in the world. And that's going to require significant investment. And so that continues to grow. Capital access becomes more important. So those factors are more important than actually what is going to end up between these two nations and chip.
All right, so they want sovereignty, they want control, they want agency, in other words. Sherry?
Yeah, and Rangu, it's great to talk to you. Just talk to us about your customer as users. Do you see the need to go beyond hyperscalers at this point in time? Do you feel the need to include some of the local enterprises as well as the government entities, especially when Asia is such a hot spot for data centers right now?
Yeah. So our model, Sherry, good to see you, and thanks for having me. You know, if you look at from our customer base perspective, we are focused on hyperscalers. These are the large tech companies, Sherry, and our focus is to provide very high-end, resilient data centers at scale. So that's going to be a focus. We are not going to deviate in focusing, serving enterprises or governments, because the customers we serve, they are the ones who serve these governments and enterprises, and that's how the value chain works. And the important part for us is when these customers, the hyperscalers, buy capacity from us in different locations across Asia Pac, they want to make sure they have a high-quality operator who can provide at scale and be able to grow with them as their investments grow. While enterprises and governments are very important customers of theirs, they have different kind of scaling mechanism, how they scale their services with these governments and enterprises. So our focus will continue hyperscalers. We continue to provide to make sure we provide campus-level services now. How the industry has evolved, Sherry, is in the early days, we would build a single floor or a single building for hyperscalers. In the AI world, what has happened in the last 3 years is that we're building multi-building campuses for these hyperscalers. That's the kind of scale only a few operators can provide to hyperscalers, and hyperscalers want to partner with companies who can provide that, and the enterprise and the government is not the focus of what we do. So it's really providing this large-scale, scalable infrastructure.